Good afternoon, students. Today we are going to start a new chapter, that is the thief story from Footprints Without Feet. The thief story is written by Ruskin Bond. Ruskin Bond, he was a famous Anglo-Indian writer. His story is actually related with daily happenings or experience of life. Here we will come across two characters. One is the thief, that is here it is referred to I, who is actually a narrator, and Anil, who is a 25-year-old man. And we will know how a thief at first actually chooses a bad line, you can say a bad way, but at the last of the story, at the end of the story, we will know that this thief actually changes himself totally because of a trust, a single trust by Anil to him. So how it happens, we will come across while we read the story. I will explain the story line by line. Okay, so let's start. So here, I was still a thief when I met Anil. And though only 15, I was an experienced and fairly successful hand. So here I, who is the narrator itself, he actually tells us that he was a thief when he met Anil for the first time. And he was only 15 years old and a very successful thief. We can say an experienced and fairly successful hand, that is a successful thief. Anil was watching a wrestling match when I approached him. He was about 25, a tall, lean fellow, and he looked easygoing, kind, and simple enough for my purpose. I had not had much luck of late, and though I might be able to get into the young man's confidence. So here, when the thief met Anil, he found Anil, he was watching a wrestling match. He was about 25 years old. Anil was 25 years old and a tall fellow and a very tall and lean fellow. And when the thief noticed Anil, he found that this person, Anil, he looked very easygoing and very kind and simple for his purpose. His purpose was to rob him. So he found that he was very easygoing person. So he thought that this will be a good time to actually take this person into his confidence. He had not had much luck of late. It means that in the past he did not have such luck, or he was not at all successful in robbing many people. But he thought that this person Anil, who looked very easygoing, he will get into his confidence. You look a bit of a wrestler yourself, I said. A little flattery helps in making friends. So Hari Singh, as I have not mentioned here, the name of this thief was Hari Singh here. Later on we will come across it. The thief, he knew that a little flattery helps in making friends. It helps in impressing person. So he knew that one. So he just went towards Anil and he flattered him by saying that he looks like a wrestler. In that, what Anil replied, "So do you," he replied, which put me off for a moment because at that time I was rather thin. When the thief, in order to flatter Anil, he told him that he looks like a wrestler. Anil, he replied, "Yes, you do look like a wrestler." And these words by Anil put the thief very upset. He was not at all healthy enough to tell him that he is a wrestler. He was not at all he doesn't look like a wrestler. But here when Anil, he replied the same to Hari Singh. For a moment, the thief, he became very much upset, as he was very thin at that time. Well, I said modestly, I do wrestle a bit. And the thief, he replied, yes, sometimes I do wrestle, not in a very not in a very proud manner, modestly. That means without having any arrogance in him. He said that yes, I do wrestle a bit. Sometimes I do wrestle. What's the name? At that, Anil, he asked his name. He asked the thief his name. Hari Singh. I lied. I took a new name every month that kept me ahead of the police and my former employers. So the thief, he said that his name was Hari Singh. Actually, it was his fake name. It was not his real name. He lied that his name was Hari Singh. And why he lied? Because he used to take a new name every month, as it helps him to keep him away from the police and his former employees whom he has actually robbed before. After this introduction, Anil talked about the well-oiled wrestler who were grunting, lifting and throwing each other about. I didn't have much to say. Anil walked away. I followed casually. After a short introduction with Hari Singh, Anil, he talked about that well-oiled wrestler who were actually grunting each other, lifting and throwing each other. And then after having that conversation, he just walked away from there. And Hari Singh, as he had some purpose with Anil, he also followed Anil. Hello again, he said. So, Hari, he called Anil, addressed Anil. I gave him my most appealing smile. I want to work for you, I said. But I can't pay you. And then, Hari Singh, he gave Anil the most attractive smile. And he said that he want to work for him. Hari Singh, he want to work for Anil. At that, Anil, he replied that he could not pay him any money. I thought that over for a minute. Perhaps I had misjudged my man. I asked, can you feed me? So when Anil, he replied that he could not pay him any money, Hari Singh, he was a little bit puzzled, and he thought over a minute, and he thought that he might misjudge a man, as he thought he would be an easygoing man. He would be a perfect man for his purpose. And then again he asked him, okay, then can you feed me? Can you give me food? And then Anil, he asked Hari Singh, can you cook? He asked Hari Singh. Anil, he asked Hari Singh if he can cook or not. As Hari Singh, he said that he asked him if he can feed him or not. So at that, he asked Hari Singh if he can cook or not. I can cook, I lied again. Now, Hari Singh, he lied again that he can cook. But he does not know how to cook. If you can cook, then maybe I can feed you. And then Anil, he replied, okay, it's fine. If you can cook food, then I can feed you. He took me to his room over the Jumna sweet shop and told me I could sleep on the balcony. But the meal I cooked that night must have been terrible, because Anil gave it to a stray dog and told me to be off. But I just hung around, smiling in my most appealing way, and he could not help laughing. So, Anil, he took Hari Singh to his room, and Anil, he stayed over the Jumna street shop, and then he told Hari Singh that he could sleep on the balcony. He showed him the place where he can sleep. That day, Hari Singh cooked food that night. But the meal that Hari Singh cooked was not very tasty. It was a terrible one. And Hari Singh, he realized it when he saw that Anil gave the food to the stray dogs. And then Anil, he came and he just told Hari Singh to go away from there, as he had lied him that he could cook. But Hari Singh, as he has his own purpose, so he just hung around and he just giving him the most attractive smile. And at last, Anil, he could not help do anything, but could not help laughing. He just laughed out loudly by by looking at Hari Singh's behavior, as he was just giving him the most attractive smile. Later, he patted me on the head and said, "Never mind, he would teach me to cook." He also taught me to write my name and said he would soon teach me to write whole sentences and to add numbers. I was grateful. I knew that once I could write like an educated man, there would be no limit to what I could achieve. So later on, Anil, as he was very kind-hearted person, as we have already, it was mentioned already in the story. He was a kind-hearted person, so he could not do anything, but he just patted Hari Singh on the head and said, "Okay, never mind, if you do not know to cook food, I will teach you how to cook food." He also told him that he will teach him how to write his name. He would also teach him to write the whole sentences and to add numbers. And Hari Singh, he was very grateful to him. And he just suddenly he thought it would be very grateful if he would know how to write sentences and all. He thought that if he will be an educated person, then he would be a greater thief, a big thief. He did not took in a positive way that he would be a good person, but he thought that when he will be an educated person, he will be the bigger thief or the a big thief. He took in such a way, and he was very grateful to Anil that yes, Anil, he is actually helping him in his work. It was quite pleasant working for Anil. I made the tea in the morning and then would take my time buying the day's supplies, usually making a profit of about ₹1 a day. I think he knew I made a little money this way, but he did not seem to mind. So for Hari Singh, it was quite pleasant working for Anil. He was very happy working for Anil. So his work was to he used to make a tea in the morning, and then would take his time buying the day's supplies, usually making some profit of about ₹1 a day. Every time, whenever Anil, he gave him some money to buy the day's supplies. From there, every day he used to have some profit of about ₹1 a day. And Anil also realized that Hari Singh, he is actually making a profit. He would not return the profit money that he has actually got it. He would not return it to Anil. So he realized it, but he never minded. He never mind because he doesn't give him any salary. He doesn't pay him any money. So for that reason also might be he doesn't mind that Hari Singh, he made some profit in that day's supplies. Anil made money by fits and starts. He would borrow one week, lend the next. He kept worrying about his next check. But as soon as it arrived, he would go out and celebrate. It seems he wrote for magazines, a queer way to make a living. So Anil, as he was a writer, as I have not mentioned in the beginning, Anil, he was actually a writer. He write for the magazine and all, and in such a way he used to earn his living. Anil, he made money by fits and starts. He doesn't have the regular income. By fits and start, it means that he doesn't with irregular burst of activity. He doesn't have the regular income. Every day he doesn't used to earn any money. So Anil, he made money by fits and starts. He would borrow one week, lend the next. So he would borrow money from his friend, from anywhere. He would borrow and he would just lend the next whenever he used to get the money or whenever he used to earn something. So he always he used to worry about his next check. But every time he used to be worried about his next check, next money. But as soon as it arrived, he would just go out and celebrate. He never thought of saving the money and all. As he was alone, so he never thought of saving the money. He used to be worried every time for his next check, but as soon as it arrived, he would just go out with his friend and celebrate and just enjoy his time and just spend his money in such a way. And Hari Singh, he has actually recognized, he has noticed all those things about Anil. It's since he actually used to write for the magazine, A Queer Way to Make a Living. The name of the magazine, A Queer Way to Make a Living. And then whatever money he earned from there, he used to just spend it by enjoying with his friends, celebrate with his friends. He never thinks of saving the money for the future. So one evening, he came home with a small bundle of notes, saying he had just sold a book to a publisher. At night, I saw him tuck the money under the mattress. So one evening he returned home with a small bundle of notes. He had earned some money that day. He had got some money that day, and saying that he had just sold a book to a publisher. And he told Hari Singh that he had sold a book to a publisher and he has earned this notes. At night, Hari Singh, he saw that Anil had tucked the money under the mattress. Now, as we know, Hari Singh, his purpose was to steal things from wherever he used to work. He used to rob the person and just run away from there. So his purpose was in such a way. So now he has got this chance. He has seen that where Anil has kept the money. I had been working for Anil for almost a month, and apart from cheating on the shopping, had not done anything in my line of work. I had every opportunity for doing so. Anil had given me a key to the door, and I could come and go as I pleased. He was the most trusting person I had ever met. So, Hari Singh, he had been working for Anil for almost a month, and Anil has never paid him for the work. And apart from cheating on the shopping, he has not got the chance or opportunity to cheat Anil. Only whatever on the shopping, whatever profit he used to get it, that was the money he used. That was the money he used to cheat from Anil. Rather than that, he has not done anything in that line of work with Anil. So now he had every opportunity for doing so, because Anil had given him the key to the door and he could come anytime and go as he pleased. At any time he can go. So Anil has trusted Hari Singh a lot. He has full trust on Hari Singh. And even Hari Singh has never met such kind of person who has trusted him a lot. So because of that trust also, Anil has not actually taken that opportunity to just get inside the house, steal the things and just go away from there. And maybe he has not taken that opportunity because Anil has trusted him a lot. And that is why it was so difficult to rob him. It's easy to rob a greedy man because he can afford to be robbed, but it's difficult to rob a careless man. Sometimes he doesn't even notice he has been robbed, and that takes all the pleasure out of the work. And that is the reason why Hari Singh found so difficult to rob Anil, because Anil trusts Hari Singh a lot. He has even given him the key of his house. So for Hari Singh, it was very much difficult to rob a person who trusted him a lot. So he says, in that way, he says that it's easy to rob a greedy man because greedy man can be afford to be robbed. But it's difficult to rob a careless man. According to Hari Singh, it is very difficult to rob a careless man. And sometimes, these careless people, they doesn't even notice that they have been robbed. or someone has taken the things from there. They do not even realize it. They do not even notice it. And that takes all the pleasure out of the work. Hari Singh, as he was thief, so there should be some pleasure on his work. If he's working, if he's stealing something, the one should know about it. The one should actually run after him. And that will be the most enjoyable work for Hari Singh. But here he found a careless man, and he has every opportunity to cheat him, but he could not, because it was very difficult for him, as it takes all the pleasure out of the work. Well, it's time I did some real work. I told myself, I'm out of practice, and if I don't take the money, he will only waste it on his friends. After all, he doesn't even pay me. So now it was the correct time, because now he has the opportunity to steal those money, those bundle of notes, and he know where Anil has kept the money. So now he want to do some real work, which is actually his way of work. For the purpose he has come here, he has got that opportunity. So he told himself, as he is out of practice for many days, he has not steal anything, he has not taken, and he has not robbed any person. So now it was the real time to do the work. So he thought that he will take the money, because he know how Anil used to spend the money. He doesn't think for the future. He doesn't save the money. He will just take those money and just waste it on his friends. So he know it, and also he doesn't pay him anything. Hari Singh, he worked for Anil, but Anil, he doesn't pay him. So he thought that it will be right time to take this opportunity and steal those money and run away from there.